Hello, welcome back to my channel. My apologies for being a bit late. Big up to Wim already in the building. Big up to Calc. And yeah, it is Calc's fault this time. But this time I'm not actually blaming Calc. This time it's actually Calc's fault. Normally I'm just putting the blame on her, but this time I'm not. Anyhow, let's put the blame on Man City Football Club for the moment. Because we can talk about Fulham in a moment. Because that's the most recent game. But let's go to Leeds first, because we haven't had a chance to talk about that yet either. Now, I actually think we played a good first half against Leeds, but here's the problem. Once Bernardo Silva runs out of gas, we're pretty much playing with a man less, and then we're already playing with Haaland, who it's like playing with a man less sometimes, especially in the games where he doesn't contribute. That game, Haaland was not contributing, so it was like we were playing with two men less, because Haaland was just standing there, and Silva was, I don't know, out of gas. I'm not sure what to say. And Pep did not make substitutions for so long. I think we're honestly very lucky to get away with even a point in that Leeds game. We were very, very lucky to get away with all 3 points. I think the way we played was a disgrace that game. First half, okay, fine. Second half, to wait that long to make the changes, and then to make the changes you make by there as well. I don't think we're the best. And then to just give away a 2-goal lead like that, it's not like they were making good chances before that. We were just, suddenly, we were in control. Just like that, they brought on Calvert-Lewin, we were getting hammered. They had no control over that game before that. I think it was quite sad game, that Leeds game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't understand why Omar Marmoush can't get any time in some of these games. It's very clear that Haaland was ineffective. I thought his body language was super poor. And I don't understand why you don't send him a message and say, this isn't, this is not good enough. I don't care if you're the highest paid player and you score the most goals on the team. You're not better than everybody. You're not, you don't get special treatment. I would have given Marmoush I would have yanked Haaland pretty early in that game. Because Marmoush can score goals, but he's not going to get match fit getting 5 minutes a game. I don't understand that. And then, yeah, you're absolutely right about Bernardo Silva. And this is going to become more pronounced very quickly, because I think we say last season he was so good at the end of the season, but we forget the reason why is because he was only playing 1 game a week. I think if you're going to get the most out of him, it's only 1 game a week, because he's had 10 years of running 15 kilometers a game. And whether, Father Time is going to catch up to him eventually. He's 31 years old. And the fact that he's running out of gas is basically removing him as a tempo setter. And and when you take Nico G off in the Fulham game, I know we're still talking about Leeds, but this is part of the same point I'm trying to make. You don't have a tempo setter at all. So we have to find that, and we have to keep that in the game. And I think we did kind of find it. I think Ryan Cherky has shown that he's starting to settle these games down a little bit. And he came off the bench against Leeds, and he set up Foden for the game-winning goal. Very impressive. Like, the unfortunate part about that is I think that's going to keep him as a sub. I don't think he's going to be starting games, because Pep will want to be like, yeah, I need him off the bench. But he has to recognize that. And I even advocate, I said Bernardo should not start this Leeds game. The reason I said that is because I thought the Fulham game was more important. And I'd rather have Bernardo with a full tank of gas in an away game, not at a home game against a promoted team. And I get a lot of crap for that. They're like, you have an agenda, you hate him. And it's like, no, I'm recognizing patterns and, trajectories, based on all the football I've watched in my life. Players get older and they wear down. And that's natural. It's not a slight against him. And it's up to the manager to recognize this. And he needs to do the best that he can to preserve this player, because he's so important to our team. And he's not doing that right now. And yeah, you're right. It's like playing with a man down. And then you add Haaland to that. And it's like playing with 2 men down, just like it was at Leeds. And that game was a heart attack. Some of it you can account for as bozos from our defenders, but why are they making these mistakes? A lot of them are just tired. When was the last time Nunes got a game off?
I don't even know. I don't even know if it's about being tired. I think it's just you keep asking questions of someone. At some point, they'll give you the wrong answer. Doesn't matter how much you know. at some point, if you keep being asked a question, you'll get the wrong answer, just naturally. When you're playing football and you keep being put into situations one-on-one, at some point, you're going to make a mistake. And that's what the defenders did. Good first half, but at a moment, at some point, the defender is going to break. And that's what happened against Leeds. We just kept conceding chances. And our defense was very good in that Leeds game. But there's a limit to how much you can handle. And once the defense broke, we just looked all over the place. And that's the thing, yeah? We are allowing our defense to be under so much pressure, that eventually they'll break, even if they're playing good. I don't think they're tired yet. I think they're just under way too much pressure. That comes down from midfield.
Exhausted. Vardiel is definitely exhausted.
Josko, I hope Gusnov can start in centre back for a few games, not for like a game here and there, like against Sunderland at home. Give Gusnov a chance to play. Give Vardiel a chance to rest. Then right back becomes a bit of a question, because right now Nunez, he's going to run out of gas if he keeps playing. I think he's a bit better than Vardiel at the moment, but that's at the moment. So you've got a lot of players all over the pitch who, one, they're tired, two, we're not really rotating, so all the players don't get a chance. If we do rotate, I think Savio instead of Marmoush, dumb decisions. I think we just make a lot of weird decisions. That's the bottom line. I don't think our defense is as bad as people say, though. I think it's a lot of midfield problems that make our defense look bad.
Yeah, something keeps happening in the second half of these games where we can't hold on to the ball at all. Like we went through, like yesterday, between the time when Doku went off the pitch and Turkey came onto the pitch, we could not hold the ball. They had it. They dominated possession. Like if you went into that game saying that Fulham would like completely dominate possession in that game overall, I would have said you're crazy, but they did. They were able to take the ball from us. They held it and we couldn't get it back. And that's a problem because we kind of need, I know we complain a lot about the boring sideways, backwards, blah, 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 but that's chewing up clock. It's chewing up. You're just your possession to have possession when you have a game won. Like at 5-1, yeah, start passing backwards, start passing side to side. But Bernardo's out of gas, and that's the thing he specializes at. But he is out of gas, and I think the whole squad is at this point because we've been running the same 11. Like you said, we're not rotating. We tend to do this in March, I would say, but the fact that we're doing this in October is alarming because these players are going to run out of gas. The two I'm looking at that I'm most worried about is Josko Vardiel and Bernardo Silva because the two of them played every game last year. And they both start for their country. So they're not getting any rest. Like Ruben Diaz missed a lot of time last season due to injury. So that kind of, I'm not saying like that's okay, but it's like he got more rest than Vardiel did. Vardiel played 5,000 minutes for club and country last season. Like that's a lot. And then there's a rumor he's got an injury. I'm not making excuses for him. I personally said he should be benched after the Leeds game because I want some accountability for these mistakes. And yeah, he's okay. I get the reputation for being the Josko Glazer. I'm saying bench him. So I'm not going to hear this like, oh, I say he does no wrong. Like he hasn't been performing. And
you know what problem
it's like he's being forced into the ground until he gets injured.
You know what problem we got into, though? And this is a valid critique, but it's shallow, I'd say. And that's we don't really have the players to rotate with. If Gvardiol is benched, I assume it's going to be Gusnov who's going to play. And if Gusnov is playing at centre back, you can't cover the right back. So you're playing your only two right back options at the same time. And that's a valid critique. But in the summer, I was saying we need to go buy Matty Cash. And everyone said, no, I don't rate Matty Cash. And now we don't have a right back. And now that critique pops up. So I think it's a very shallow critique to say, oh, maybe we don't have the players. We've got two centre backs on loan. We've got, is it Brathwaite, whatever he's called, in the academy. We've got centre backs around. Okay, maybe the quality isn't there, but surely to rotate in some games here and there. or even to come off the bench so that you don't have to play a full 90. We don't see that at the moment at Man City. And more so, midfield is getting worrying because I saw John Stones come on in midfield. And I understand why. Nico Gonzalez looked absolutely worn out. I think Pep made the right decision to take off Gonzalez against Fulham. The problem is, take off Gonzalez for who?
Yeah, we need a backup for our backup. That's the problem. But John Stones was absolutely the wrong decision because he's not mobile enough to deal with Premier League midfielders these days. He's just, I think the only time it ever worked, honestly, was because he was next to Rodri and Rodri was carrying him in a sense. It doesn't work without Rodri. We've seen countless examples of it. It's 2025. What are you doing? And Pep even recognized it because you notice towards the end, he put Nico O'Reilly in that spot and we actually looked a little livelier. So maybe that's something we can kind of build on and try to introduce him slowly into that role. Maybe next to Nico pivot, in moments in a game, just not for, I'm not saying start him, but slowly introduce him. But I want to go back to your point about the center backs. There's no reason at all not to get Husanov some minutes. You're talking about the guys we have on loan. We have Husanov just rotting on our bench. And I think he's the one you need to get match fit as soon as possible because whether you like it or not, he has something that nobody else on our team has, which is pace. And sometimes you just got to risk him, even if he's going to commit a bozo mistake, even if he's going to get a yellow card and a rash tackle. You just hope it's not a red. But sometimes you just need a pace merchant. Because yesterday, I'm not trying to say that Nunes had a bad game, but when Nunes was tired at the end of the game, their sub Kevin was torching him. He just kept blowing past him. And I'm like, wouldn't that have been a nice time for Husanov to come in and just deal with that guy? Just deal with him for 20 minutes, Luckily, Kevin didn't produce a goal, but, we were in scary times and you tired players. And I think they're just mentally fried at this point too, because they've just been playing nonstop. And so that's why you got to get him fit because if Nunes gets fit, you're going to throw a non-fit Husanov into right back.
You know what I've also seen?
John Stones who can't stop anybody anymore because it's 2025 and he's just too old.
You know what I've also seen, which really annoys me? Pep Guardiola either rotates the entire team, changes 10 players, or he doesn't change anything. Like, why can't it be 3 players this game, 3 players that game, and make sure that everyone is fit for the big games?
Or even just 1 or 2. I don't even need 3, but yeah. The only one he's doing that with is Tijani Rangers and Ryan Turkey. I don't get it. You got to do it with some of that back line because that back line is running on life support right now. And I think it's very clear from the evidence we've seen. I don't think John Stones or Nathan Ake are the solution in 2025. They've had a lot of significant injuries in their career, and it's starting to catch up to them. You look at Nathan Ake, he just looks like he's running in treacle. He's very slow, and I don't think we can rely on him. And I know he's probably going to leave in January because I know that he's being pressured to get minutes to make the Dutch squad, but he's not. I don't think he's been helping us that much. And I hate this. I think the same thing applies to John Stones. Like, thank you for everything you've done, but I just don't think in 2025 that you're really a solution for us. Especially in the midfield. I never want to see that again.
If Ake leaves in January, I think that's a net positive for starters. If Ake leaves, then I'd say we go get a right back. No, we won't. But what I will do is I'd get a right back to replace Ake. Because it would mean Husanov can start playing as a centre back and you can have Nunez provide depth in midfield or on the wing or wherever you want to play him and have a right back there. And then you've got Nunez and Husanov who can both cover that right back area. So that's depth, right? Right now, if you shift O'Reilly into midfield, you're not fixing the midfield depth, you're just moving it to left back. Because now we've got only 1 left back. So these aren't solutions. It's annoying that Kovacic is injured. But also, we went into this season with Stones, knowing he's injury prone. Ake, knowing he's not good enough anymore. Kovacic, knowing he's getting old and getting up there in age. Bernardo Silva, knowing quite the same story about him. We went into this season with a lot of players who let's say we sold Silva and got Gibbs White, or sold Kovacic and got Gibbs White. How much better would we be off?
So
with
much
just
better.
one change. And
everyone cried for him, cried against him too, but he's exactly what our midfield needs. He's nasty. I keep hearing, oh, well, Bernardo's our only mean guy in the team. I'm like, okay, if he's our mean guy, we're in trouble because he's very nice. I know he's a little bit of a shithouse, but it's not that extreme. Like Morgan Gibbs White goaded Rodri into choking him, so that's the kind of
well, that was more Rodri had lost, to be fair, but
Rodri had lost it. He needed a break. That was the only way he was going to get it. But yeah, he'd be great because he's an engine too. He can run. He can just run for days. He's young and he's fresh. And Bernardo just is not anymore. And like you said, when he runs out of gas, our team just collapses. And the fact that we're relying on him to be like our main guy in 2025 also just shows like how poor some of the squad building has been.
You know what I'll say? You know what I'll say to defend Bernardo Silva here, yeah? You see the first half, how good we play, compared to the second half, when the only difference is Bernardo runs out of gas, and you see that Bernardo still has that level, but he just can't play it for the 90 minutes. It's that simple. He still has the level, and you can see it clearly in both the Leeds and Fulham game. First half, Bernardo is on it, we're dominating the game. Second half, Bernardo drops off a bit, and we collapse as a team. But my thing is, go play someone else in that role. Maybe start Bernardo and take him off after 50 minutes. You can work around that, but no, he's playing 90 minutes over and over. Not even every week.
That's why I said don't play him against Leeds. Get him fresh for this game. I want him fresh for these kind of games because we have a mentality issue on the road. I'd rather he start every single away game, no matter who it is. But at home, I think you can get away with resting him. And like I said earlier in the stream, I think this is going to be a problem as the season progresses because he's only going to be that guy if he's playing once a week. I think he can give you a full 90 one game a week. But the more games we play and the more games he play, his drop off is going to start coming sooner and sooner in games. He's only going to be a 1/2 player by the end of the season, unless we just get eliminated from all the competitions and we're down to 1 game a week. I really think this is like, you have to manage him better because you can still get that quality, but you just can't overplay him. And I know how tempting it is, but you see the drop off and it's hurting the team. And it's almost, at some point it will cost us. We got very lucky. We got very lucky in 2 games. It was a 90th minute goal and a 90 plus 7 minute clearance off the line, which I literally thought was a goal. We can't keep doing that. We saw last season. You can't keep doing it. You can't keep like that will average out and
that will catch up with you.
And we will drop those points.
Now, Leeds have scored by who is the Leeds playing? What? Leeds is playing right now against Chelsea.
Oh!
Hey, maybe our result against the mighty Leeds is not that bad after all.
They just showed the score. I know Burnley is losing to Crystal Palace are up 1-0 on Burnley. I know that, but I didn't. Oh wait, let me see. They're showing the Arsenal highlights right now for me it's halftime for that game. Liverpool, Mo Salah's benched again. Ooh,
interesting. To Brighton as well. Brighton, Aston Villa.
Oh, that's actually good because both of those teams are kind of nipping at our heels. So let's hope that holds.
Yeah, but they're not going to get there, are they? But anyhow, back onto the game. By the way, Belgium played the United States soon. Just saying. We need Vitor Hayes next season, says Zrivat. I don't do this player thing. Vitor Hayes, Yumaba, Mark Guehi, sure, whoever. I don't care who the player is, but we need someone there. And it can't be Aki. I'm sorry. Definitely not Stones. I think Gusnov can be a player there in the centre back role, but we need to get a right back to liberate Gusnov from the centre back role. That will add centre back depth, give us a better right back, liberate Nunez to play over the pitch. You can play him right wing now. You can do things. Why not play Marmoush in midfield? He's not getting any minutes. Marmoush in
I don't get that at all. And he can offer things late in the game too, even if you don't want to start him. He can press. He's a pressing machine, and he will win the ball back when he loses it too. Like I think I think we're missing that late in the game. Like, play him 20 minutes. See what happens. 20, 30 minutes or whatever. When you sub Doku off, just sub him on. I'm not saying Savinho is like the problem yesterday. I don't think he's ever been the problem. I just think he's been very average. And I would like somebody to be a little more better than him. And I think Marmoush is better than him. But Marmoush is I think Marmoush is in the doghouse. Like, I don't know what the deal is. Like, no minutes yesterday? Like, nobody's asking Pep about this either. I don't think it's a fitness issue. Okay, I mean, like, fitness from his injury. He's not match fit, but he's not getting match fit by not playing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's never going to get match fitness sitting on the bench. And a cup game here and there is not going to do it. Also, why are we paying $290K a week for him to play cup games and sit on the bench? That's a waste of money.
Yeah. And even if he sits on the bench to not come off the bench, I think if you look at the Leeds game, let's say you take Bernardo Silva off after 50 minutes for Marmoush. There you go. You've got energy in midfield now. You've got someone who presses. And yeah, Marmoush is weak, sure. I don't agree, but sure. He's weak, sure. So is Silva. Bernardo Silva is through. And Silva is playing 90 minutes in midfield. You can change out Silva with Marmoush and have more energy.
Yeah. And I hear some people be like, oh, well, Marmoush has a poor first touch. Well, pick your poison. Do you want a poor first touch from a guy who's going to probably win the ball back? Or do you want an out-of-gas Bernardo Silva who is just not delivering at the end of these games?
An out-of-gas Bernardo Silva who will bring the ball to an average midfielder or to Tijani Rangers, I meant by that. He's playing average right now, let's be honest. He's going to bring the ball to Tijani and Tijani is going to lose it. And then neither of them is going to win it back. Whereas Marmoush is going to lose it and then win it back. That's the difference.
I think you're also tapping into what the main issue is our midfield is just lacking quality right now. And the reason Nico Gonzalez is basically exhausted and worn out is because he's covering the job of two other midfielders. And he's only been playing as a 6 at an acceptable level for 2 months now. That's a lot to ask a player to because Tijani just won't defend at all. He doesn't try to win the ball back. He doesn't win duels. He's poor in the air. He doesn't do any of that. He's just there to put go forward. And he did look better as a 10 yesterday. But when you have that, and then you have an out of gas Bernardo Silva, or even when he's still playing well, he's still not quite as good as he used to be. And asking Nico Gonzalez to cover for those two plus do his own work, no wonder he's constantly out of position and not doing his job properly because he has to. You're asking just way too much of him. I noted this after the Leverkusen game. He just looked like he was dead. He looked like Rodri was starting to look at the end of the 4-peat season. And I'm like, and you just had an international break, man. You had 2 weeks off. You shouldn't look this tired. So there could be a slight fitness issue there. Maybe he has to increase his stamina. He needs to train a little harder to be able to get to perform at a high level at a full 90.
Yeah, but then also, I'm going to throw in another one here. It's Nuri. Why is he not playing? I'm not saying he needs to start, but can't he come off the bench for the Silva? Because Nuri can play in midfield. Can't he come off the bench for the Silva?
He can do something. He can offer, even if it's, he can offer something. But he's just off to a really bad start in his career at the club, unfortunately. And it's all because of injury. That's the worst part, is it's not that he went and stuck it out the gaff. We saw him in the Club World Cup. Okay, he had a bad game against Al Hilal, but we were always going to struggle in that game when you play Tijani Rangers as a 6. That was a big mistake. But and then he looked good in the first game against Wolves. The whole team did. Then he got injured at the second game of the season, and then he missed 2 months, and he can't get into the team. And he can offer something. I don't think he just should be chained to the bench. He can provide some minutes outside of cup games. I just don't. There needs to be some rotation because this 11, I'm telling you, they will gas out in January at the rate they're going. If you don't start rotating some of these players and giving them a break, there will not be a second half run because everyone will be dead.
Yeah, I mean, Sherky. I'm just looking through the players right now who have not played a lot. Sherky hasn't played a lot. Marmoush has not played a lot. Injury, but I think he could play more, let's be honest. So Sherky, Marmoush, say what you like of him, but Savio. These are the players who are going to be fit to play. So, okay, you've got 3 there. I think Foden is mostly fine at the moment. He's been a bit in and out.
He's looking a little tired.
yeah, he's starting to get a bit tired, but it's not as bad as Gonzalez yet or something.
No.
So at the moment,
also Foden is a culprit too. I'm shitting on Bernardo the whole time, but the collective midfield in front of Nico Gonzalez all three of them.
Yeah,
need
but
to,
when
they
Foden,
all need to do better.
When Foden has been shifted to right wing, when Foden was shifted to right wing, he started playing better.
He started scoring goals because he's inverting behind Holland. That's his best spot, is behind Holland. That's everybody's best spot in the front line, is behind Holland. When Marmoush was doing it last season, he scored a bunch of goals too.
Maybe that's also the problem. All out attackers are too monotone. They just need to be behind Haaland, and not everyone can be behind Haaland.
I mean, it is encouraging that some of these because before the first two breaks, Haaland was scoring everything for our team. So it is kind of encouraging that out of our last goals, eight goals since the break that we've scored, only one of them has been from Haaland. So it's nice to see other people stepping up.
What you could say on paper right now is you could change out Doku for Savio if Doku gets tired. You can swap out Silva for Cherki. You can swap out, I guess, Foden for Marmoush because they'll play a pretty similar role. Maybe you have Marmoush on the left.
I think Marmoush has to do it on the left, though, because I think...
but you can put...
I don't think... he's right-footed, so I don't think doing that off the right is going to work for him.
Yeah, but you can put Savio on the right, can't you?
You could also try putting Doku on the right.
No, because the idea is right now you're just changing players with players who are more fit. So Savio for the Doku, and then you just put Savio right and Marmoush left. Marmoush coming on for Foden and Cherki for Silva. Then Gonzalez, once Rodri is back, maybe you can say Rodri in there, but Rodri has to be back first. Then Tijani.
Also, it's going to take Rodri a lot of time to get match fit too, because he's had a lot of significant setbacks. So even once he finally can play games, you're going to, first off, it has to be off the bench for, I would say, at least a couple of weeks. And then when if he eventually gets to the point where he can start games, you have to do one game a week for some time. Like, you can't expect him to come, because he's had so many little setbacks that you can't just throw him in there right away and be like, okay, back to 3 games a week. We're going to spam you a full night. I think that's a big reason he's been getting these little injuries, is because Pep has spammed him. It's like we've learned no lessons. And so I need to see some lessons learned. And, as hard as it is to just say, hey, play once a week, I think that's what you kind of have to do. Just to get him, until he's a little more comfortable. And he can trust his body again. Because, that could be a mental issue too. Because, it's hard. He's gone through a lot the past 18 months. And I can understand why it's, not going as well as it should be.
I mean, how well should it be going? I'm not quite sure what people expected to see of someone coming back from an ACL. I know. An ACL injury, the thing is, I think most people will never have an ACL injury in their life. That's just a fact. So when people imagine an ACL injury, they imagine breaking a bone. I'm sorry, it's completely different. You heal from breaking a bone. ACL injury, you're never coming back 100%. Like, I'm not sure what people expected from someone still coming back from that. It just signals to me that people imagine an ACL injury as breaking a bone. No, it's 1,000 times worse. Like, literally, it's 1,000 times worse. So I don't think he's behind schedule at all. I think the schedule is just very tired when you get an ACL injury. So if we survive till January, I think he can maybe play 1 game a week, which can rotate with Gonzalez. Then the question is, do we get someone in January, a midfielder? Elliot Anderson is the rumor right now, but that's probably for the summer. So maybe we get him in January. I strongly doubt it. It's probably the summer.
Yeah.
So then, who do we rotate Tijani with? No one. Or do we start?
That's the problem we have, is that we desperately need the player right now, but we still have too many players on our team.
What we can do is, if we get Semenyo, because that's the rumor, if we get Semenyo, we can rotate Doku for Marmoush, we can rotate Foden for Savio, we can rotate Silva for... I mean, this doesn't make much sense either, because you'd throw in Semenyo somehow, but I'm not sure how you'd throw Semenyo in there. But I guess you'd have to shift both Cherki and Marmoush into midfield, and I mean, that's not great. So,
I don't even understand the Semenyo links. I don't think this season is. I mean, get him in the summer, but I don't know what the timeline is on his release clause. But I don't think he's going to help I think our problems are in the midfield, and I think it's clear right now that Tijani is just not he's not playing as well as we need him to. I'm not going to give up on him because he's, it's only been like 15 games or something like that. He needs to be doing better.
Even if he is playing as well as he should be, who do you rotate him with?
Turkey. That's what we've been doing.
But Turkey is already rotating with Silva.
Well, I don't know. I think Tijani would be doing the further back Bernardo role more than Turkey is going to be further forward.
Okay, so now Turkey is rotating with Foden.
Yeah.
So who do you rotate Tijani with? With Silva?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. You would do that. I mean, this is all moot point because we all know Bernardo's going to just play all the games anyway.
True, but I mean, the point is on paper at least. I don't think that sounds that
I just
good,
think we need an 8 really badly, and what we have right now is Nico Gonzalez is an 8 playing as a 6. And we have Bernardo Silva. Tijani is supposed to be an 8, but he's looking better when he's more of a 10. Because I don't think he's doing any of the off-ball work that he needs to be doing. And that is the problem, is we did buy a midfielder, but he's not doing what we need him to do. And I got warned by our friend Strasbourg Steve, shout out Steve, who said he does not work off ball very hard at all. And he's like, he's not going to work for you for that reason. So if you had him with a Morgan Gibbs-White could do all the work to cope for him. But right now, it's Bernardo has to do all the work, and Bernardo is just he's not there for a full 90 because he's, the reasons we've laid out before. So, like I said, I just think Tijani needs to do more off ball. He's not doing it. I'm not going to give up on him. I'm not going to say he's a flop or anything like that. Obviously it takes time to adjust to a pet midfield. That is a very difficult position to walk into. It's just a very inexperienced midfield right now, and we're seeing it. Like, even when Nico G is playing our 6, he's very inexperienced, not just in a pep team, but as a 6. He's, we're missing the experience. We're missing Rodri. We're missing Kava.
By the way, both Marmoush and Nuri are off to AFCON soon, after the Madrid game.
Yeah. Why didn't we utilize them a bit more to rotate some of these players who are going to stay here and they're going to have to play all the minutes? Well, they could have maybe rotated me a little fresher.
Why could we not have used Marmoush until he's gone to AFCON? So that's
exactly. The argument I hear is, oh, well, you don't want to disrupt you don't want to get him used to the team and then he leaves. I'm like, I'm not buying that at all. You use him, you can use him as a rotation guy. He should be playing at least 20 to 30 minutes a game.
The problem is, February onwards, let's say from March until the end of the season, you're pretty much going to play the same 11 every week. That's just how you play the end of the season. That's always how Pep has done the end of the season. So
yeah, the problem is he's doing that now.
Yeah.
He's going to run that same 11 in March and April, and they're going to be out of gas because they've been playing every game since October. So they're going to be dead. When we need them in a stretch run, they're not going to have any energy because they've already expended it right now. Because the manager is refusing to do any rotation at all. So this is going to bite us later in the season, like I said. And, Bernardo's not getting younger. He's not going to get better. He's going to progressively get worse. And if you keep overplaying him, he's not going to have the energy to do what we need him to do late in the season. In the big games, he's just not going to be that good because his body just doesn't have the stamina anymore because, he's old. It's not his fault. And it's not his fault he's playing all these minutes too. Like I'm not, it seems like I'm just ragging on the player. Ultimately, it comes down to the manager. The manager is the one throwing him in there at every opportunity. He's not rotating the players. And if we end up, not winning anything and dropping out of everything early, it will be because this time of year, we're not managing the squad better. We have the players, we have too many, and I don't know why we're refusing to use any of them. It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, Again, we can talk about Kovacic being bad luck, because I think if we had Kovacic, I think we'd be so much better off. But would he even be playing if he wasn't injured? Even if Kovacic was not injured, would we be rotating? Or would Kovacic
I think so. I think because Pep would trust him because it's his third year.
Okay, but then
year or whatever.
it's just be Kovacic playing every game instead of Tijani.
So I think we would actually see rotation in that. I think Kova would be rotating, and he'd be coming into games late. I think he would be starting some games. He'd be giving Nico G a little bit of a breather. I don't think he'd be taking over, but he would definitely be playing minutes. And I think because like we've seen it before, like he's been a rotation piece in and out of the squad, and like even that 4-piece season, like he came on and he was Rodri's legs for the end of that season, and I think Pep would remember that and play him.
Fair.
We might even try a double pivot of Kalva and Nico G. That could have been interesting. My biggest gripe would have just been if, like you said, if he had just started all the games. But I don't think Pep can afford to start somebody straight off of an injury.
I mean, I'm saying if he didn't get his injury, but no, yeah.
Well, you mean the second injury, because he had the first one over the summer.
Yeah, but the first one, that was over the summer. That's a bit different. Because he had a lot of time to heal from that. Because he was supposed to be back already for the Club World Cup. But he didn't play in any of it because he was being kept to the side to stay fit.
I don't even think he came to America, did he?
No, he didn't.
The crime for that was the fact that Nico G didn't play any minutes.
Oh, yeah, he didn't.
He played like one game, barely. And then it was Gundogan getting all the minutes in the Club World Cup. And it's like, why? Everyone's like, oh, let's just goodbye. And I'm like, what? Like, so we should just intentionally weaken ourselves for sentimentality? Like, also, I got to say this. A lot of people are giving Hugo Viana a bunch of crap for the state of our squad right now. And I'm like, do you not remember the mess he walked into and how much he had to get rid of? And people don't, like, he's still having problems with it. Like, Ortega needed to go. He didn't want to go.
You know, I mean, we
had to wait till deadline day to get rid of Akanji and Gundogan. Like,
So if we're going to look a bit ahead right now, and I'll come back to the Fulham game later because I want to talk about that a bit more as well. But if we look ahead right now to January, I think we agree, both of us, we need a midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
So Elliot Anderson right now is the rumor. Do you see any way that happens in January? Because I don't.
No, not in January. Nottingham Forest are still in Europe, and based on their domestic form, they have zero chance of qualifying. I know they want to be in Champions League. They have zero chance of that right now. They're fighting relegation. Like, they're so bad. So for them, I think they're gonna put everything into Europa League, because if they can win Europa League, they qualify for Champions League. So I think they'll put everything into that, and there's no chance they'll let him go while they're in that competition. And I don't think they're going to get eliminated by January. Because I've heard rumors that was the issue with Nico G last year. The reason we got him like at the end of the window is because Porto were still in Europe or something, and then they got eliminated, and so they're like, yeah, we can let him go because we don't need him for, because they were trying to progress in the competition, and they got eliminated from it. So I just don't see that. Also, I don't know what our relationship is with the Forest guy. I know he can be notoriously tough to deal with.
He's brain dead, basically. You don't have it's like having a relationship with a worm. You don't really do that, and the behaviors are completely unpredictable.
I mean, I don't think it's a Di Lorenzo situation, but maybe it kind of is. I don't know, but I mean, I think we have decent. I mean, we sold the McAtee. I don't think we didn't rip him off or anything. We didn't give him any crap for that one, and. From what I heard, they tried to buy Rico Lewis, and they had a fair offer on the table, and it was the stuff I've heard is the player didn't want to go. But I think the fact that maybe we've done some deals with them, we've given them some homegrown players, maybe that's fostered some good sentiment. I'm not sure. So that when it comes time to go to him next summer and be like, hey, we want to buy him, maybe he won't be a complete, what?
What would you do then? In January to get a midfielder? Do you go buy someone like Bentancur, for example, just to have him for half a season and then sell him? What do you do with that midfielder?
We're in a tricky spot because And a lot of it is because of Rodri, because obviously I think our first step is to see what he's doing, because we don't know if Rodri's going to be here next season. So ideally, when you buy someone in January, you're thinking of the future, not just this season, but next season.
The player we want for the future is Elliot Anderson. But Elliot Anderson is coming in the summer.
Well, there has to. I think you need 2 midfielders next summer, because you could lose all 3. You could lose Bernardo, Cava, and Rodri next summer. Well, so you probably need 2 midfielders.
We're definitely replacing Kovacic.
And then Bernardo's gonna go. If Rodri can't prove his fitness and doesn't sign a new contract, I think they're going to sell him in the summer. I don't think they're going to let his contract expire, because we've let too many players' contracts expire and have got no money for them. Gundogan, now Bernardo Silva, John Stones. We're not getting any money for those players, and they had significant transfer fees. And whether we like it or not, this is a business dealing with numbers. And I don't think we had a lot of academy sales last summer. So, we got to start thinking about that, especially because we spent a lot of money in the past 2 windows and we didn't make a lot of sales. And so you have to start earning some income. And I don't know who you're going to sell to make money. Are we going to get a lot of money for Kovacic? Probably not. There's rumors Nathan Ake is going to go. Are we going to get a lot of money for him? Probably not. You're going to get no money from Stones and Bernardo Silva. So you have to start factoring that in.
So
and that's why I think they would sell Rodri next summer, because even if he starts proving his fit, especially if he has a good World Cup, somebody will offer 50 to 70 million for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. If we look at the long term right now, I'm assuming that Stones, Ake, Kovacic, Silva, Lewis all leave.
I'd say Oscar, Bob, and Trafford are also going to leave by next summer.
Yeah, Bob as well. Trafford as well, but that's just...
Trafford will be sold. Oscar, Bob might just be a loan.
Yeah, but
even so, we bought so many players in front of him, yeah.
Trafford is just a third place goalkeeper. We need to get that's not that big of a deal.
He's a backup goalkeeper for us this year.
Yeah, but we can keep.
He actually plays. Ortega doesn't. Ortega hasn't. He's made 1 bench. Trafford has at least started games. He started the season for us. He plays all the cup games. He's still playing.
Okay, but not that big of a deal. Ortega and
Phillips, you'll have to get a backup next year. Yeah, because Donnarumma will be the starter, and you have to get a backup for him.
Yeah. Ortega and Phillips will both leave as well. So
I don't know about Phillips. That's going to be the hardest contract in football to move. High wages, doesn't do anything. I don't know what to say about him. That's just a disaster of a signing. The fact that we have to he has 3 more years. This is his 4th year out of 6. So $150K a week. Even if we eat the wages, nobody wants him, because he's 31 or 30 years old now, and he's completely washed up and on these high wages. We're just not going to get rid of him.
Yeah. So long term, we're going to need a centre back. You can say Vitor Hayes, maybe on loan, come back. Okay. So let's say Vitor Hayes, long term for centre back. Okay. You're going to need a right back.
I think they have an idea. I think they still want Livramento. That's my vibe. There's a lot of media, a lot of Twitter. I know it's all just team talk and whatever. And I know they're not very reliable, but they're really pushing this whole Livramento's not signing a new contract. Manchester City are still interested. I think we still are, and I think we have some pieces we could offer them. I know swap deals aren't really a thing in football, but we'll sell you James Trafford and you sell us Livramento, or we'll loan you Oscar Bob, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I think we have some pieces they want that we could kind of sweeten the deal with, especially the Trafford one, because I don't think Nick Pope's not long-term for them.
But, so we're going to need a centre back, a right back. Okay, you can say Vitor Hayes is a centre back, fair. We're going to need a 6 or an 8, depending on if Rodri goes or not. We're going to need 3 midfielders on top of that.
So, I think it'd be 2. You'd get the 6 and then 2 8s probably.
No,
but Elliot Anderson is kind of the
you need
two of them.
a 10, and you need someone who can be a bit more versatile.
What do you mean a
10? You need a 10. I think a backup 10, and you need maybe a winger midfielder combination, like a Morgan Rogers or something. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players still
Jamal
to buy.
Musiala could be that
6
winger
players.
midfielder. Oh, I think Thiago. Is that Thiago? I can't tell. Sorry, I'm just hoping Brentford are making some good subs. Come on, Brentford, give me a point. Give me a point. Wishful thinking.
Wait, did Igor Thiago not start that game?
No, he didn't. They rotated heavily.
Why? Igor Thiago has like 11 goals or something. Why did he not start?
He's like, yeah, he's right behind Holland. He just subbed on though with 30 minutes left.
They're trying to rob us, Brentford. Shameful.
Well, we did beat them, so.
Anyhow, your Alf, can you talk about our horrific out of possession system? I will in a second. Big up to Kairula, I believe that name is. Big up, you're new. Thank you for subscribing. What will be the scoreline in the next match? Let's answer that first before we go to the Fulham game, because I'll close off on the Fulham game.
The Sunderland game? Oof, I'm dreading that game.
It is at home.
I don't care. Sunderland are very good.
Sunderland is good.
And they're going to bully our midfield as currently. If we play the same midfield who are all dead tired and underperforming, Granit Xhaka is going to dominate us in the midfield. I think he's just going to outclass us completely.
Yeah, but Sunderland is good at the Stadium of Light. They've not been very good away from home, though.
Well, hopefully that's our saving grace then. And then when we go to the Stadium of Light, they're supposed to have a bunch of players missing for AFCON. So fingers crossed.
There you go. Beautiful. So I think we'll be fine against Sunderland, to be honest. Especially if we attack as well as we did against Fulham.
Yeah.
And let's be honest as well. Sunderland is not scoring the 4 goals that Fulham scored against us.
At this point, anything feels possible. Like, we literally almost bottled a 5-1. Like, I just, the PTSD is creeping back in. I'll just be honest. It's just, if we can't hold a 2-0 at home to Leeds, who just got promoted and are likely to be relegated, and if we can't hold a 5-1 and it literally comes down to a goal line clearance to hold on to a 5-1 on the road, like, I don't have faith in this team in the second half of games. And it's been a pattern all season. Brighton did it to us. Manchester United actually played better than us in the second half. Luckily, we were able to hold on. So if we have to rely on holding on with these players who are just, not rotating and very mentally tired, it adds up. And at some point, it's just going to crack. And so it's hard for me to be confident about the Sunderland game. I mean, sorry to be negative, but I'm not confident with it at all.
No, I'll explain why I disagree in a moment. But when we talk about the Fulham game, but I think we'll be fine. I think we'll keep a clean sheet as well. We haven't had that in a while. I'll go 2-0. I'll go 2-0 against Sunderland.
I think we're drawing or losing. I don't know. I don't know what my score prediction is, but I don't have a lot of faith right now. I just think Sunderland have the quality that Fulham and Leeds did, and if Fulham and Leeds can do that to us, I think a team with quality will actually finish the job.
Yeah, but it's a difference. That was Fulham at Craven Cottage. And it's what I said. I know we've had a 19 winning streak against Fulham, but I
they did that to us last season at the Etihad. They did about the same thing. We barely won that game.
Let's not talk about last season.
Well, a lot of those issues are still present. We haven't addressed the midfield.
But
we're not holding on to the balls.
Severely. Those issues are not present as severely. And if I'm going to be honest, look at the chances that Fulham actually got. They had one big chance all game. One big chance, and it was on 97th minute clearance. I'm going to be honest. Fulham played the best game of their club's history, and they lost it. That is the best game of their club's history, and Man City won it. I don't think we played as poorly as the scoreline suggests against Fulham. I think Leeds was incredibly poor. I think against Fulham, we just got unlucky with the goals they scored. Because they're not scoring those goals ever. Fulham is not scoring 4 goals of that quality in any other game. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree with the point you're making, but for me, there's still signs of concern. Is the fact that we just could not hold on to the ball, and that's becoming a trend in second halves of games. We're being dominated in the other team is out possessing us, even at the Etihad, even when they lack quality. And that to me is just a sign of concern. That has nothing to do with the goals they scored.
No, yeah, that's fair. And there are signs of concern, but here's the thing. Has Pep Guardiola made the same mistake twice this season? If so, when?
Well, I think the fact that this keeps happening is the same mistake. Like, we keep struggling in the second half of games. I don't know if it's tactics. I don't know if it's the quality of the players. I don't know if it's burnout. It could be a combination of all. Ooh, damn, Aston Villa just went up.
Because I look at all our games so far where we've dropped points or played poorly. The first game I'm going to is going to be Tottenham. He brought on Ake for right Nuri when he should have brought on O'Reilly. He's not played Ake at left back since. In fact, O'Reilly has played every game at left back, bar Leverkusen. Which, okay, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't need to discuss that. That's we already whined about that one.
he did not make that mistake again. Made the mistake of playing Ake instead of O'Reilly. Did not make that mistake again. Then, against Brighton, he played Rodri and Ait-Nouri. Neither was fit enough to play. Clearly, they weren't. He's not played injured players since.
Well, he did that to Rodri a couple of times, and he's learned a mistake. I think he's made that mistake. Excuse me.
I mean, Rodri was fit to play, though, at that point. Not in the Brighton game, but after that, he was fit to play, and he just picked up a new injury.
Rodri should not have played that Napoli game. Because it was in between. It was in between United and Arsenal. He never should have played that game. And then he just kept throwing him back in, and got the hamstring injury.
Sure, but that's a completely separate mistake then. Because that's not playing a player who's already injured. That's just overplaying a player.
Well, that's a mistake. Like, okay, maybe not this season, but it's a mistake Pep often makes. He doesn't want to. He never wants to change it up.
Yeah,
because it's his guy. That's why I put Ake in before O'Reilly, because that's his guy.
It changed it up against Fulham. He saw that Gonzalez was getting tired, and he took off Gonzalez. The only mistake, in my opinion, that Pep is still making continuously is he's not substituting on Marmoush sooner.
Not even. You can even make that argument for Turkey, because Turkey, I thought, was actually very impressive yesterday. He calmed the game down quite a bit. And also, I would say putting Nico O'Reilly in the midfield for a little while. I know he's looked very scared there most of the season. I think it was the Spurs game, or was it the Brighton game?
It was Brighton.
I don't know what game it was.
Brighton.
Yeah, but he looked very scared and deer in headlights. But he looked a lot more confident, and we looked very stable. So, like I think I said earlier, it'd be interesting to see a Nico pivot at some point. Because we need physicality, and we need something in that midfield. That is not a penalty. This guy's diving. Book him for diving.
Villa's winning 2-3, by the way.
I said that a minute ago.
Leeds still 1-0 over Chelsea. That'd be too funny.
Oh my God, yeah. That's at Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Allen Road.
Oh God. Allen Road, that's the one I keep saying. Yeah, oh wow. Ooh, I got some Chelsea fans to rip on.
But they keep telling me Caicedo is apparently this world-class player.
He's suspended. He's not playing.
Yeah, I know, but why is he suspended? Just wondering. Also, if Semenyo comes in January, Savio and Bob are gone. I don't think Savio is going to be gone.
No, Pep. Yeah, they're gonna force Savinho, because they have to be proven right. Their decision not to. I know there was no bid made and all this stuff, or allegedly no bid was technically made. It was just the media talking about it, but I think they got to save face on that. They got to be like, yeah, this is why we refuse to even listen to a bid, because this guy is so great, and I don't think he's shown that he's been that great this season. I'm not saying he's been bad, but I don't think he's been this spectacular player who's just changed our fortune at all. The one who has been for me has been Ryan Turkey. Ryan Turkey comes off the bench and he contributes to the game. Like he gives, even if he's just there 10 minutes, he's scoring goals and he's getting assists. And I think that's more than what Savio's doing. To me, Savio is just coming in and being a cog in the machine, and that is useful. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm expecting him to level up this season, and I don't think he's really done that in the minutes he's gotten.
And he doesn't fix midfield issues.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't.
I mean, I'm not too worried about our attack. I'm not too worried about our defense even. I think we could use a bit of depth there, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm really worried about midfield.
Oh, yeah. The midfield is a big problem, and we're just so in the dark about Rodri. I think if he was playing, we'd be a lot better. If Kava was playing, it'd be a lot better. But the uncertainty with them in the present and in the future is going to hamper us in January because, we don't want to buy a player just to buy a player. I know we don't do loans, but I mean, what if we loan somebody for 6 months? I mean, I know we don't do it, so there's no point in even thinking about it. But it would be nice just to have somebody for 6 months with some quality. And I got rinsed. I think there was a tweet from somebody, or there was something saying that we were looking for a veteran midfielder, and I got rinsed for suggesting Fabian Ruiz. I got absolutely taken to the cleaners for that take, but
Fabian Ruiz would have been brilliant for us. I think a lot of players would have been brilliant for us. By the way,
now sign him in the summer. Would you sign him in the summer on a short-term deal just to be a veteran presence, to rotate, not going to play a lot of games? He'll come on. He'll be the guy who comes on late in games. Just for some stability. But he's good enough because he just fucking excuse my language, just won a treble. He's still clearly good enough. He starts for PSG, which is one of the top teams in the world. So, does he? If he would accept being a bench player for us, I think that'd be a good signing. But
yeah,
I got rinsed for it. I got rinsed for that opinion.
I mean, I think Fabian Ruiz. I'm not saying it has to be him. Go get Elliot Anderson, sure, but that's still.
I think you need Anderson plus someone else. That's the point I'm trying to make. I think you need him to start games, but you're going to need a rotation piece in the midfield.
But by the way, while we're talking about midfield, Rico Lewis. I know he's not great in midfield. He's not great in general, but he's not played any games either. Could we not rotate using Lewis?
I think he's going to leave. I just don't think he does not help. He's not the solution to our problems. He actually contributes quite a bit to our problems because he's not physical. He's very easily bullied. He does help in some aspect. He helps us on with the ball, but off ball, he does nothing to help at all. And that's our problem is we have too many players who are good on the ball and they're terrible off the ball. We need somebody who can do the off ball work. Because, Tijani's same way. I'm going to say Tijani and Rico are basically the same thing. They're very good on the ball. They offer nothing off the ball. And that's hurting us. We need somebody on there. And that's the frustrating part about Tijani is that, he's so good on the ball, but he's just giving us nothing off the ball. And I think that is a big reason why our midfield is such a mess. I'm not just going to blame Bernardo Silva. I think the whole structure is wrong. I think the players are just wrong. We don't have anyone off ball because nobody can stay on the pitch. The ones who can they're not getting on the pitch because they're injured all the time. And that's kind of hampering. We can't buy players because they're taking up the slots. You know what I mean? We can't buy a foreign player because Kava's there, not playing. So it's we can't fix our problem because of we don't need to buy. Not available.
We don't need to buy a foreign player. It's not Elliot Anderson's. Gibbs White's, Morgan Rogers, players like this who are homegrown. We can go and get.
I would take any of them.
Yeah,
I would take any of them. I like all of them.
Same here. I'd take any of them. I'd love to have a Gibbs White at our club and Anderson at our club. But again, this is not happening in January. If it does happen, it's a stroke of brilliance, but most likely it isn't happening.
I don't foresee us getting the midfielder we need in January. I just don't. If you can find the backup kind of guy, sure. But, there's names like Ederson being floated around. I'm like, no, I don't. Is he the solution? If somebody is the solution for next season and you can get them in January, I say go for it. But I think it's going to be very difficult.
The thing is, at this point, I think the long-term solution is Elliot Anderson. plus somebody else there, a bit of a more versatile midfielder to get with Anderson. So, do we just get a half a season midfielder and sell him in the summer? Like, do we do that?
I don't know who you'd get though.
Anderson.
Would
From
he come just
Atlanta.
to be sold?
Yeah, just buy Ederson and sell him again. Because Atalanta is not really in any competition right now. They're just floating around.
Well, if you think that Ederson can be here next season, yeah. Because otherwise, I just think it's a waste of money. Like, you can't buy these players at high money because he's not going to be cheap, even though Atalanta's not doing well, like you said. It doesn't mean they're just going to let him go for pennies.
No, but
do we need another 40, 50, 60 million guy that we can't play? Like, I don't get it.
You can buy these players. You can buy these players and sell them again.
I just don't know if he would. Maybe try it out. But honestly, the solution is that Calvin and Roger have to get healthy. That's the solution.
For this season, yeah. I think, again, long term, we can get 2 midfielders in in the summer easily. Easily. In the summer, 2 midfielders, easy. But we need at least 1 midfielder right now, and we're probably not getting that, are we?
Yeah. It's just going to be hard. Maybe Viana has some tricks up his sleeves. There's that guy. What is his name? Diamande from Sporting or somebody who he's like kind of. We've been linked to him in the past or something. Maybe that's a guy you can go and get. I don't know what Porto or Sporting are doing. I have no idea. But I think he had an embargo for a while. He couldn't touch any of their players, but I think that's ending. So I don't know. You know who also? I've only watched it once, but the guy from Stuttgart would be really impressed. Stiller.
Like
I said, yeah. I only watched him in 1 game, but I was very impressed with what I saw. Maybe, and I've heard he's been very highly rated for a couple of seasons now. He got linked to Real Madrid.
Leeds is winning 2-0 against Chelsea right now. Maybe our result was not that bad after all.
I don't know. Let's see if they can hold on to it though. Well, that is Ellen Road. They do play. They're better at I know. They're to go to Ellen Road now. Oh God. They always give us a game there. They give everyone a game there.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we're so desperate right now for the midfielders. I'd take a Gomez from Brighton at this point. We need a midfielder.
If you can find that guy who will be your rotation piece next season and get him in January, maybe you can convince him. Nottingham Forest just took the lead. Liverpool and Sunderland are 0-0 at halftime. At Anfield.
Yeah, but Liverpool is washed.
I don't know. Well, the current league leaders couldn't beat him.
True.
Just so you know. Beating Liverpool ain't for everyone. And we beat them pretty convincingly too. I did watch that. That was during my vacation, but I was able to watch the game.
How about going in for Smith Rowe?
Smith Rowe?
Emil Smith Rowe, bro. He scored a banger against us.
Well, he is, and he's homegrown, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're desperate for. Because that's how you build your squad. Is you can have the 17 non-homegrown players, but then it's like, then it's all homegrown after that and academy trained and. Next summer, it could literally be just down to Phil Foden and Nico O'Reilly, based on how everybody homegrown is like linked to be like they're old and they're going to leave, or they're academy players who are fed up and don't want to wait around anymore. So, yeah, you got to get some of those. Maybe Smith Rowe will be like, hey, we got a chance at some trophies. You want to join us? You never know.
I mean, if you go for Kearney or Smith Rowe, for example, in January, they're both homegrown. I think Kearney is a bit older though. Then you've got players there, but again, this is not amazing, is it?
Yeah, these squad building problems are they're an issue, and I think the small squad this season is exacerbating the issues quite a bit too. Because there's some players who might not have considered leaving who now are because they're just not playing. Like Oscar Bob, I don't know if he would have considered leaving, or even Rico Lewis. I don't think they would have considered leaving, but the fact that they're just not playing at all. And there's also question marks if they're good enough too. So that's, but that's separate.
Yeah, and then you've got Stefan Mukasa coming through as well. hopefully in better circumstances than
He's
Bob
another
right
10
now.
though. I feel like we've got a glut of 10s, and we have no 8s or 6s.
But here's the
Is he an
thing.
8? I don't know.
Here's the
Mikasa, I
thing.
thought he was a 10.
We can buy a Divine Mikasa is a 10. He's a 10 or a winger. He's a bit of both. Kind of like Foden. You can go get Emil Smith, or not Smith Rowe. you can go get Elliot Anderson.
Yeah.
And then you have Anderson as the extra 8. And you bring through Mikasa as the backup 10. And you already have Sherky and you have Foden already. And then you've got a bit of a midfield there. Assuming Rodri stays, of course. So then you can start looking around at a bit of a more versatile player, maybe a Morgan Rodgers, who can play in midfield and on the wing. You can do that type of stuff, I think. You know what, yeah, if I'm being honest, I think we could have used Grealish this season in midfield.
Oh, we could have last season, and we saw it once, and it was great, and then we never saw it again. Something happened there, and we'll never know. We'll never know. So they had a fallout. He played in the Forest game. He was brilliant. I think he played again in the Juventus game, and we weren't good. But we were terrible in that game. And then we just never saw him again. And now he's at Everton. He just got frozen out for no reason. I think Marmoush is heading on that path, too. I don't know what the hell happened there, but it hasn't even been a season. And it seems like Pep's done with him. And I'm just like, why?
Pep just sometimes decides, nah, fuck this player. And we never know why.
Yeah, the problem is that, Marmoush ain't cheap. Moving Alvarez was easy. Everyone's like, oh, it's to be the next Alvarez situation. Alvarez is on like half the wages. Very easy to move. $290K a week and a $60 million fee. That's going to be really difficult to move. And it's embarrassing to sit him on the bench when he actually has a lot of attributes that were kind of missing late in games. So, somebody's got to tell Pep, man, what are you doing?
Our squad is dead, I can't lie. Like we've just put ourselves in this position, haven't we?
Half of it's too old and doesn't want to move on because, we gave him high wages and it's cushy and blah, blah, blah. Half of them are too young. There's just so very little in the middle. Like, who's in their prime right now? Ruben Diaz? You would think Rodri would be based on his age, but he's injured. So he's, we can't really say he's in his prime. Mateus Nunes is kind of in that sweet spot, but Phil Foden and Erling Haaland are on the cusp. They're, 25. Usually you think 26 to 29 is probably your prime, maybe up to 30. So they're not quite there yet.
Strikers nowadays tend to go longer and longer, don't they?
Yeah, and he's done well with his injuries, so hopefully
I think
there's nothing going on there.
Haaland is the type of striker that can go until he's like 36, 37.
And then he's getting 1,000 goals. He's getting 1,000 goals if he does that. Declan Rice came off the pitch. He looks like he's injured. Gyökeres is coming on. Got to do our hair flicks for Victor Gyökeres, right? Hair. Did you see that meme? They're like, during the game, the Chelsea game, they're like, he comes on, everyone's super intense, and he's flicking his hair.
Yeah, that's the problem with Rico, isn't it, Sri? It's so easy to bully off the ball. He needs to hit the gym.
Oh, now it's 4-2 Brighton. Aston
4-2 Villa.
It's 4-2 Villa. Yeah, at Brighton. Oh wow. Some teams can win at
American Express is not expressing.
Oh, that's a shitty card anyway. Team Visa. I used to have an American Express, but we have this store called Costco. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like a bulk grocery store.
Yeah, I know what that is.
So Costco used to be, you get the Costco credit card. It was an Amex. Somebody at Amex lost that account. Oof. Now it's all Visas. Now it's a Visa card. I'm like, the person at American Express who lost Costco, we're talking billions in sales, like hundreds of billions. Like, you lost that. Oof, you're done. And then the guy who got the Visa deal probably got like the biggest promotion of all time.
Bruce just scored a scummy 1-2 in a cup game, by the way. Hey.
Yeah.
penalty that really shouldn't have been a penalty, but we take it.
we need a few more of those. We've only had one penalty all season, and then we missed it.
Haaland missed it, more likely to say.
Haaland on penalties right now, very unreliable.
He doesn't want
we have?
penalties, but he needs to set bad, you know. I mean, he needs to set bad properly. Like he can't have the penalties in there.
Yeah, he's missing for Norway too, so something's going on with him. Who knows what? Wow, Arsenal are wasting time right now. Declan Rice took a long time, and now Hincapie is like taking time. They're trying to. I don't know what they're doing, but they're a bunch of hoes. So that's what's going on.
I beg for the late Igor Thiago winner or a draw.
I would, dude. That would make my day.
Igor Thiago.
I'm not anticipating it. I would like Sunderland to win because then they'll kind of, you don't expect them to lose 2 games in a row. So, get the win now and then lose on Saturday.
I'm ready for Igor Thiago 90 plus 5th minute equalizer. We will be there 1-1.
Like this. Fingers crossed.
The difference between Man City and Arsenal will be 3 points if that happens, by the way.
Yeah, And if they keep stumbling like that, it'll just keep happening because that's just who they are. Not to say our mentality is any better, but at least we're holding on some of these.
If we go and win that Carabao Cup, though, then we do have a bit of that mentality, whereas they don't.
I agree, man. I think we should be going full throttle on the Carabao Cup. First off, it's been a while. I kind of missed the Carabao Cup. It's been, 4 or 5 seasons? Bring the Carabao Cup home. And 2, get these players some winning experience. And then I think that could propel us to a title, possibly, because you'll be like, I like this feeling, And a lot of these players don't have that. Like Tijani, I think he's won 1 cup in his whole career. Savinho's never won anything. Nico Gonzalez has never won anything, or nothing major like that. I don't know exactly, but Nico O'Reilly's never won anything. Husanov's never won anything.
Shetki.
Yeah, Cherky's never won anything. A bunch of these players just haven't won a lot. Yeah, Marmouche has probably won nothing.
He's not playing, though. Savio. Doku has won a title, to be fair.
Yeah, Doku and Vardiel and Nunes, they were all on that title team. Kava was, so yeah, and then you got your Rodgers and your Foden's and whatever, Diaz, and they know. They know what Trafford's never won anything, so unless you want to count. Well, I'm saying that because he's the keeper who we playing in the Carabao Cup. So
true. But Donnarumma will play the final though if we get to it.
Yeah, probably. But if not, Trafford, if that's when Donnarumma gets his suspension.
By the way,
he will be suspended very soon. Ooh, Mo Salah's coming on for Liverpool.
Can we please get Crystal Palace in that final, please?
No.
Yes.
We'll probably lose to them again. I want a dumbass manager.
I want revenge.
I don't think we're going to get it against them. I think Glasner has figured out Pep.
Nah.
Did it in that final, and we can't handle that style. Oh, Thiago, man, he can't break away from these defenders. He's just every time he gets a breakaway, they're right next to him. Got to be a little faster.
A bit slow, isn't he?
Oh, 4-3. Van Hecke gets one back for Brighton. Ooh, could we be heading for a draw here? Could we? Maybe. You never know. We need to draw at the Emirates, though. Come on.
Bruges was in there suddenly as well, but that was very poor by, I believe, for the months. I could have had a tap in, bro. He just... some of these players are just pussies, I can't lie. Kind of like Man City.
Are you talking about Brugge or Man City? Oh! Oh, no, they almost just scored. Oh. Arsenal almost scored, but Kelleher saved it.
Igor Thiago, late winner or equalizer. I'm telling y'all. We will be there.
That was nice. Yeah, well.
Bruges wasn't robbed. In fact, we are robbing Leuven right now. That penalty was not a pen. No. After Gonzalez sub, we dropped the ball big time. I agree, but we needed to sub off Gonzalez at that point. The problem is we don't have anyone there once Gonzalez comes off. And, I mean, we're talking in circles at this point, so I think we can start rounding up there. We desperately desperately need a midfielder. That's the bottom line.
We do. Yeah, and again, like we've laid out, it's going to be difficult to get, and it's also. I don't think we just need a spare body. I think we need the right one because we got to stop. We got to stop buying players and discarding them after 6 months. That's just bad business, and it catches up to you eventually. So, but getting the right one in January is probably mission impossible.
Yeah, we need Tijani to start starting up as well. By the way.
Yeah, Tijani can get better, and come back, Rodri, please show us something.
Show us a sign of life.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting how Pep's just been like, no, Rodri, no. Oh, Kelleher. Oh no, I think that went over the line. Yeah, that
Arsenal might.
Arsenal just scored. Yeah, and it just barely went over the line.
Aye.
Too bad.
Brentford is useless. Worthless team.
Hey, we beat them, so whatever. As long as we beat them again, then whatever.
Hey, don't worry. Arsenal are now going to go play Everton at Hill Dickinson. Ooh. No, they play Villa Park first.
That's going to be a tricky game.
They always drop points at Villa Park. We will be taking.
I had a whole point I was making before that goal. I don't remember, and I completely forgot what I was talking about. Do you remember what I was saying?
No, I don't. I was too focused on the Bruges game because Leuven is getting a bunch of chests right now.
That's fair. I'll remember it as soon as we log off.
Probably.
In 5 minutes.
Villa away first, and they play after our game against Sunderland.
Oh, yeah. So we can put the pressure back on them, yeah.
If we beat Sunderland, we can put some pressure on them. Zolis is in here, needs to fucking put this game away, but he flops. Oh, dumbass.
Uh-oh.
Why are Arsenal games always so boring? They're shit, that's why.
Yep, they're complete shit.
Yeah, Crystal Palace apparently bottled something as well. I think Palace is losing right now.
I think they were up 1-0.
They're still up 1-0. I'm not sure why Wem puts no Palace in chat here. Yeah, it's 2-0 to Arsenal now. It's still 2-0 to Chelsea. Anyhow, we'll round up there. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Big up to Calc for coming on. Let me see if there's anyone to redirect to. I don't think so.
It's a rare whining Wednesday because we're usually busy. Next week we'll be playing the Champions League game, so we can't do it on Wednesday. We'll figure it out though. We always do.
Yeah. We always figure something out. It will probably be Tuesday again.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I have anything going on Tuesday.
We'll figure it out. Anyhow, I'll redirect you guys over to Alfie. Not myself, but over to a different Alfie, who's an Arsenal fan, and he's big up to him because I've been on a panel with him a few times. He's not shameless. He's not like the shameless Arsenal fans. He's actually pretty chill.
Like you, gal.
Oh, damn. So
the anti.
Alf, great.
Palace still up 1-0, yeah, and Forest still up 1-0.
Alf, great in chat, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.